Here we go. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Oh, well,
everybody.
I'm recording. I am recording. Yeah, we're here today with Organised Confusion. We've got Amy, and we're waiting for Josh to join. So anyway, hi, guys.
Hi,
Hello.
Karen. Hi, Organized. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, just as I said, I think there's a tiny bit of time delay. So it might be slightly out of sync. But anyway, so obviously talking to Amy a lot, but just Organised Confusion. What do you make about what's happening right now?
Well, the funny thing is, right now, okay, it's getting kind of late now. Let me see here. It is now 11 o'clock. Okay, it's 11:06 p.m. in my time zone here. And they have implemented a curfew now here of 11 o'clock. So now it's illegal to go out in public now after this time. So we're on just a curfew lockdown right now, but I think that's just to test the people out in our area because it's not in all of the state. It's only in my area right now in a couple other pocketed places. I think they're testing the system to see how much manpower it will take to control the dissidents that decide to go and venture out anyway right now.
Well,
And then whenever they come back with a report tomorrow of how many people it takes, what's up, man? I think that once they see how many people it takes to contain us tonight, because they put in this curfew, I think that then they'll vamp it up in other areas that they can contain it in with the manpower they have to sustain it.
yes.
Can I just say that Josh has just joined us? Hi, Josh.
Hello.
Hi, Josh.
You're muted.
Oh.
Josh, you're muted.
Unmute. The little microphone. Oh boy.
Oh, you're still muted, Josh.
All right,
There he is. Okay.
all right.
Okay,
I'm just hanging in the
Josh.
background, guys.
Hi, Josh. Hi, Josh.
Hang on, just joining in.
You're on here, Josh. I was just saying, so you're on here with Amy and Organised Confusion.
Hey.
Till further notice. And that's from 11 at night till 5 in the morning right now. But I strongly think that by the end of the weekend, they're going to, I think they're going to start locking people down permanently by this weekend in certain areas. Because in my area, it's gotten pretty bad. There's a hospital like 2 blocks away from me that's had cases already.
Oh, wow.
So literally 2 blocks away from my house. So, and that was
Amy,
maybe
tell
a
them
week
what
and a
they've
half
done
ago.
in California today.
Yes, they have martial law in California. That was announced, I believe, yesterday or the day before. So they're under martial law. The governor came in and made a speech, and he didn't call it martial law, but it is. Everything that he described, it is martial law. He just didn't come out and say those words.
Nope.
So
They don't have to. They can call it whatever the hell the term is.
Yes.
State of emergency of whatever level.
Right. Well, they're saying they just want to protect everybody. They're protecting the people. That's what they tell us.
Yeah, right.
But right.
Yeah, right.
Now, my cousin just got off a
Just
cruise
asking,
ship
Josh,
called
what
the
do you think
Miracle.
about that? All right. Is that a joke?
No.
Is that a joke?
My cousin literally just got off of a cruise ship in California like the day before yesterday called the Miracle. And and he is now making his way back in a vehicle with his family in a car from California to here back to Florida because they're afraid to get on an airplane.
Oh, I bet. Yes.
So they're driving across the country
Wow.
right now in the middle of all of these shutdowns in different places, trying to make their way back here to Florida from there.
Oh my goodness.
I know, so that's gotta be pretty
Y-
crazy.
yes, because I heard they're gonna maybe start putting roadblocks and things like that. So
They
I
are,
pray
but
they
only
make it
for
safe
essential
here.
travel, and they consider people trying to get
Oh,
back home where they
okay.
live essential travel. So they'll
Mm.
allow someone to travel towards their home, but you can't be out and about. All the bars are closed now here. All the clubs are closed. All the restaurants are drive-through only during the hours of operation that they allow now, and
Yes,
or pickup
same
only or
here.
delivery. So there's no
Yeah.
dining in anywhere allowed anywhere in the state of Florida anyway, anywhere. And
Well,
I imagine it's that way in the
Yeah, we're about
country
the
now,
same.
but
yeah, where
it's
I,
that definitely that way in Florida. You can't eat anywhere at
yeah.
all now, dining in at all in Florida. That's been stopped completely as of today.
Oh, I guess it's the same where I am.
Same
I'm
in the
in
UK.
Maryland.
Yeah,
S-
yeah, and you can't congregate in
s-
larger than groups of 10.
Yes. Yeah, that was the president made that speech a
Mm.
couple days ago, and more than 10
Uh,
people in a group. But
but nobody's listened
last
to it here. The beaches were
really,
completely full here in Florida. The beaches over
oh,
here in Daytona, because it's spring break, so all
spring
the
break,
spring breakers were
yes.
already here. So the beaches were
Yes.
completely full. So they decided they're going to shut down the beaches. Uh,
Oh,
they haven't
wow.
decided as of when yet, but they already shut down the parking garages and the parking lots that you pay to get into park to go to the beach. They already shut those down to make it harder for them to get there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, but
Well,
they're planning on shutting down the beaches very soon and mandating an order for people to stay in. So, and they're also evacuating hotels. They're
mm,
starting to close hotels here, and certain ones today. There was a list released today. They had till 5 o'clock to get all of their guests out of their hotels, and
oh my
they did that
God.
today by 5 o'clock here in just the Orlando area. So that was just
Oh, wow.
by 5 o'clock today. A bunch of hotels were evacuated here, and they are not reopening
Oh,
until after all of this, and they're going to start to do that more and more as they go along.
yes. Well, that sounds like it's going to create a lot of traffic and so forth as people are leaving the hotels and going back home and everything. Sounds like it's going to create kind of a
Well, they'd
mess with
need a
I would
couple
think with the traffic
of
and
days for that,
everything.
wouldn't they? They'd need a couple of
Yeah, I
days
would
for the
think. Yeah.
people to go home. Josh, do you want to say something?
I'm just Yeah, no, I'm just listening in and like resonating with you guys and uh yeah, trying to stay positive through this stuff.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot of stuff going down. Yeah, totally. But we've all collectively kind of known this was coming. So it's kind of us up to us, right? To kind of keep a positive attitude about it because we knew this was coming. A lot of the populace didn't know this was coming. You know, they were kind of like making fun of us for talking about it a year ago or 2 years ago, right? So, I mean, you know, I'm trying to keep a
Yes.
positive attitude and um, trying to keep the spirits up high for you know, like the people in we're all kind of involved in these different Facebook groups, and we're all trying to communicate in kind of multi-dimensional levels. We're trying to communicate to each other in the truther community, and we're trying to communicate to each other in our families and our friends and our jobs. And so it's kind of like finding that balance. And like I like music, so I'm like always
Yes.
writing music and stuff. So yeah, I relate of like how I translate stuff as lyrically and musically, but I love listening
Josh.
in, like,
I know. That's
Josh,
sweet.
Organised Confusion sings. He's a singer, so you're with a music man.
yeah, it's just like it's just absorbing everybody's opinion is very important right now. Like,
right.
if we stop telling each other to not have an opinion, and like, if we stop listening to each other's opinions, then we are giving up on, like, quote unquote democracy, right?
Yes.
Democracy is about, like, letting everybody have their own opinion, and it's okay to have different opinions. And so that's where I'm at. Like, like, I'm just like, I have my opinions, you have your opinion. It's okay to disagree. That's freedom. The freedom of having your own and letting that person have their opinion. Right?
That's right.
That's where I'm at. That's right. And just staying positive. And, I mean, like, I'm on both sides of the fence with this stuff. I think that there might be some negative stuff going on, but there's definitely probably some sort of positive outcome that come. We go through all these catastrophes through all these years, and eventually we figure it out collectively.
We do.
We end up figuring out how to find some sort of positive outcome. So that's where I'm at, and I'm not unaware of the negative stuff that's going on.
That's awesome.
Positive.
I love it. That's
right?
Beautiful.
we're all truthers. We're truthers.
Yeah, in the same breath, I'm also open to like, tell me all the negative stuff that's going on to you. I'm okay with either. You can be positive with me, you can be negative with me. That's like, us as truthers over the last three or 4 or 5 years have, like, kind of gone through a lot of shit, right?
Yes.
So we've thickened up our skin. So maybe this is what has been preparing us for now. Like, as now it's like, now it's us for us. It's up to us. We're the real newscasters, right?
We truly are too.
Well said.
I've been trying to tell people for months now about this, and nobody would listen. And you can go back and watch the videos that I put out 2 months ago about this, telling people what it would be like now, and it's like that now.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's and if people watch my videos from today and the ones that I have even uploading right now, as we're talking in this discussion, I have videos that are uploading in the other room right now to YouTube that will explain what things are going to be like in a couple of weeks. And if people want to heave to that and see that, then they can. If they don't, then let them keep sleeping, I guess. I have to worry about it like this. Some will, some won't. So what? Next.
Right.
Because I have to worry about the people that will listen and will wake up.
That's right. Yes. That's a good philosophy.
At this rate, though, we're going to be left to our own devices to be our own news, then, aren't we, at the moment?
Yes.
We are right now. And even some of the newscasters are getting tired of having to report the bullshit. You can see it in them. Like, you can see the stress in their face, how they're getting tired of reporting this bullshit. Sorry my language, Karen. I know you don't like cussing and all that. But, oh, man, they're getting tired of it.
Well, yeah, I don't look at the mainstream news, so I haven't seen that, but that's very interesting that you're saying that they're really stressed about having to keep reporting this.
You can tell with their attitude about it, and some of them are coming straight out and talking about stuff, and I imagine they won't be on the news very much longer, but at least some of them are taking a stand no matter what it costs them.
That's good to know. I'm glad that you've some of them because I've just
Yeah, because
stopped
they've managed to do
altogether.
all this in days,
Oh
haven't
no. I've
Yes.
been watching specific people. Like I like watching Kramer on CNBC. He talks about the stock market. That's his deal on CNBC. He just
Uh-huh.
talks about stock market and that's it. And
Yeah.
lately, the only thing in the stock market to talk about is the drops. And even the
Right.
gains today were just the sell-offs. They weren't. There was no gains in the market. There was sell-offs, and the only people buying them were the companies that they were being sold off from.
Oh,
So, like if
right.
you owned Kellogg's, right, and you went to sell off Kellogg's today, the only people buying Kellogg's off of you is Kellogg's. Do you see
Oh,
what I'm
my.
saying? They're buying
Yes.
back their own stocks from
Wow.
people.
Right,
So that's
right.
going to, in turn, make the rich richer. And those
Oh,
poorer
yes.
people more poor now because those stocks are eventually going to go back up and they're going to not have anything of that. And they'll instead be owned again by Kellogg's. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's they're the only ones buying back stocks today. So the market is
Wow.
going to continue to plummet. Hold on, I have to get a charger for this. I'll be back in a minute, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my worry, was that this is where they'd be able to buy all the businesses up, and so there won't be any little
Yes.
businesses anymore. There'll just be, that's how you got to take over. That's how eBay got to take over. Not this way, but they'll take over everything.
Yes. You've been saying that,
We've never
Karen.
ever been somewhere like this in our life.
Never.
We've never been. We haven't. I mean, now Spanish flu comes and millions of people died then. So they must have
Yes.
gone through a world recession. So we will survive it. But this is quite incredible that we got this lockdown in days.
Exactly.
You know,
Yes.
I just find it incredible. I
I
think,
do
listen,
too.
Josh, do you want to do us a song or something then?
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh, do you want to do a song then?
No, I'm just playing in the background, just vibing to what you guys are
Yeah.
talking about.
My daughter loves guitar. She plays for a band.
Sorry, Amy.
You're awesome. Oh, my daughter, she would
I
love
wish
this.
I
She
could
loves
play.
the guitar. She's in band. Oh, that is awesome.
Is that how you're feeling, Josh? Is that how you're feeling, Josh?
Yeah, I'm just vibing.
Josh
Yeah.
is wound up.
Oh, yay!
Very frustrating.
I would-
You've been a printer for a long time, isn't it? I mean, Amy's been on board for a while. Josh makes loads of videos, and Confused, you make loads of videos as well. So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a weird place. I
Yeah.
just think it's a really weird place to be, that we've been reporting all this stuff, and then we find ourselves right in the middle of it.
I know, I can't believe it. When we first started talking about this, and I always say that Karen was the very first person I saw on YouTube that noticed this virus, and she made a video about it. She was right on the cutting edge of it and made a video and asking, do people think it's hype or what do they think? And I thought, well, it's probably a lot of hype. But this was like months ago, and I had no idea it was going to blow up into everything that it has. Did you, Karen, when you made that video, could you have ever imagined that we would be
Oh,
here? I know, like you found this story and you kind of put it out, and like, what's everybody think? And I thought that would be the last we would really see of it. Then I started seeing it on other channels, and they were starting to cover it, but not a whole lot because it hadn't gotten out of hand yet. But then just in the past few weeks, it's just been
It was
incredible the
out of
way
hand
it's.
a long time ago.
Yes. But
They
and
just
when
didn't
schools
say
out.
anything.
Schools are out till further notice. which could
Yep.
be 2 weeks or 6 months.
Well, I know in Australia they're out until fall.
Well, see, I think that their summer is kind of wrapping up because they have, I didn't know it, but it's summer in Australia now. So they
Yeah.
might be heading towards, but even people here, I'm thinking maybe our school systems might stay closed till the fall as well.
There's what was it? Was it the UK or was it all? I can't remember which yet right now, but I know that one of the places closed all of its restaurants and pubs and bars for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember where that was, but it was 6
Yeah,
months now from now today. 6 months.
my goodness.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
What?
Oh jeez, I know
and
it's
what that
coming.
does.
I know it's coming here, but it's only a matter of time
Well,
because they haven't. They
Yeah, I
know they
think
didn't
that
close everything fast enough.
yeah,
there's something that we're not noticing though. This disease is supposed to flourish in cold weather. It's
yes.
20
No,
something in
no,
Italy, it's
that's not
20 something
true.
in Spain, it's 20 something at
That's
the
not
top of
true.
Africa.
But that's not true. They're trying to make okay. In order to get people to think that it is more prone to spread harder and faster in cold weather, they make people think that it declines in warm weather, which is it misconcepts the mind into thinking the other. That is a lie. The transmission on surfaces will decrease during summer solstice in hotter months, but it is not going to change the transmission rate from person to person just because it gets warm. It's not going to die out like the regular flu. This kind of virus doesn't work that way. The governments
Oh,
wouldn't give billions of
Can I
dollars
just
to the
say
people around the
something?
world if
if it's
it
just
was only going to be a couple of month thing.
oh,
That's just how
okay.
it is.
Can I
They
just
wouldn't
say
spend the money.
something?
Huh?
Me,
Yes.
me and Organised, we agree on nearly everything, but he actually believes with his sources that this is a real thing, whereas I don't believe it's real like they say it is. I think that it's
Well, I
something
know
else and
it's,
they're using
but
this
I know it
to
is.
do other things.
Because of my sources, I know it's real. I know it's a real pandemic, but I'm more than 100% on board with knowing also that they're going to use this to usher in something else.
So then you believe that it is a real virus. Do you believe
Yes.
that it was created like it's like a biological weapon type thing, or
Yeah.
yeah,
And it wasn't. I don't believe that it was intentionally. From my sources, it wasn't believed that it was an intentional attack of some sort, but
right,
rather they were testing it on a group of their people in this area,
okay,
and it got out of hand. And they tried to contain it as long as they could and cover it up as long as they could, but then it got so big they just couldn't keep quiet any longer because people
oh
had been traveling
wow,
already for a month,
right,
before they even told anyone. So,
right,
it just kind of screwed everyone, because they didn't tell anyone for so long. But
yeah,
from the people I'm hearing this information from, it was a virus that was taken from Canada to Wuhan, to the lab that's there in Wuhan, that's like literally 3 football fields away from the wet market they say that came from. It's
wow.
literally football fields away.
But are viruses even real?
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody has been sick. Everybody's been sick before. I've been deathly fucking sick before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Violently
me
but
sick in the
too.
hospital, violently fighting for my life, sick, unable to
Oh,
stop vomiting. You know what I
Just
mean?
talking
Sick.
about
exactly.
yeah, but
So
organised.
I know
Organised. I'm
that.
talking about this one.
just 1 second, guys. I don't want to cut everybody off, but I want to kind of put some other kind of a little bit of other perspective in there's that viruses, when you put them under a microscope, look the same as stars. You put
Yep.
anything under a microscope, it starts to look like CGI. So what are viruses really? What are viruses?
Right.
Yeah, you got to throw that question out. We got to keep that narrative out there.
I understand where you're going with that as far as what they tell us is real in technology and science and what is fake. I am 100% on board with you in it. But I do understand that they can take, if I get sick with something, it may be whatever it may be. If I get sick with something deathly ill, there's nothing stopping them from taking a sample of whatever had me sick and putting it out there for other people to get sick with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? No matter what it is, if it's a virus or if it's some kind of poison or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Sorry, but whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
it doesn't even.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I understand the concept 100%. I agree, you know, and it could be what is up, but it doesn't even matter anymore at this point. When it was just contained in one area and everybody thought, oh, okay, this could be just a facade, and all that. But now this shit is 2 blocks away from my house, and a friend of mine in the LGBT community.
Do you know somebody who has the virus?
I have a personal friend of mine. I know it's a friend of a friend story, but one of my friends has somebody in the gay community who has contracted it here in Central Florida area. And they're a good friend of mine, and they trust, because they haven't been able to be around the person. They've been in quarantine.
Do you know that person personally?
I know the person who I'm speaking to that is good friends with that person personally.
I don't know I've been asking I'm not discrediting that. I'm just saying.
Right. But the bad thing is, that, listen, they're only testing certain people, man. You know what I mean?
I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying I've been asking everybody I know in my personal life where I go to work and my friends and my family. Right. I'm like, do you know I know a lot of people in the medical community that work in hospitals, and my family has all been.
That's who I've been told was tested positive, was someone in the medical field.
The only people that have been reported in my area in Ohio, I live in Akron, Ohio, which is near Cleveland. The only cases that's been actually reported in the news, quote unquote, on the mainstream media, and I'm not arguing with you. I'm just like,
no, I'm intrigued. Trust me.
the only ones that have been reported to me are celebrities or firemen or anybody in the police force or medical. Not medical. Actually, like the ones that are in the fire force or the police force, the 33-degree man, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to even say those words, but there hasn't been anybody that has, I haven't had any personal names coming my way in my area. Now, I'm not speaking for anybody else's area, but as far as I'm concerned, what I'm reporting, I am out there in the community. I am not self-isolating myself from being out there and making sure that I am being positive for the people that are going through this. I'm totally not saying this is not a real thing, but there's some sort of other agenda going on.
Oh, 100% there is. And they're unfolding that right now. They really are. Just like they used 9/11 when they got intel that 9/11 was going to take place. They knew that it was coming. They knew they were going to do that. They knew it wouldn't take down the buildings, so they wired them to take them down with demolition, right, after they were hit. But they used that to get rid of the information for all of the missing money from the Rumsfeld, involvement with our government and everything at that time. And they used this event to, one, bring the people together, you know what I'm saying? To get the people to feel all corralled, right? And all warm and cozy about each other and the nation and all that. Well, now this is just that on a global scale. You know what I mean? This is just that on a Earth-wide scale, you know. And that's what they're going to do. But I think they're going to reunificate in a one world dollar and a one world economy.
I actually see a positive outcome coming from this. I don't think they're going to go to a like cashless society. I think that's, but dude.
No, but I think it'll be worldwide though. They're going to crash the dollar. They're going to crash the dollar with this, I think.
They're definitely messing with the economy. But check this out. When you were talking about 9/11, so like real quick, a couple days ago, I was thinking about 9/11. I was thinking about when the CEO of America, Donald Trump, the CEO, not the president, the CEO, on 3/11/20, which was a few days ago, which 3/11 was the day he, the CEO, announced a state of emergency officially.
Yeah.
That was 3/11. 3/11 is 33. On 9/11/01 was 9/11. So that's 19 years apart. So 19 years apart. COVID-19 covert op.
Yeah.
So think about the narratives. On the narrative of, I'm just brainstorming or whatever, but
no.
on
I've been seeing it too, bro. I've been seeing it on everything too.
On the narrative of 9/11, it was all about, like, they were saying, no, go out there, spend your money, go out in commerce, don't be afraid of the public. On 3/11, now they're telling us to stay in, self-isolate. It's polar opposite, right?
Yes.
It's polar opposite narrative. Yeah, so I'm just throwing out
I was looking at a video earlier of some people being taken into a quarantine center in China, some medical workers that have been testing positive over there. And when they were taking them into the center, there's this big ass sign on the wall of this, you know what I mean? Like literally a big square sign with this on the wall next to the person's door that they're walking in. Literally, I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Can it be that more blatant? It was a gigantic sign bigger than the woman's head next to the door. There was other shit all over the walls as well. You know what I mean? So it kind of blended in with whatever, you know, and the colors and whatnot. But if you're looking and you know these things, it's like you got slapped in the face when you saw it. I was like, oh my God, really? And, you know, they were quarantining these people in a hotel. The medical workers are all staying in hotels. I believe that's why they're going to vacate specific hotels. It wasn't for the safety of the people. It was so that they have places to quarantine people.
And what about the release of all the prisoners?
Yeah, I saw that too. The early release of all those prisoners. Yeah, I noticed that too.
I really try not to buy into all the stuff going on. But when they're actually releasing prisoners, CEOs are stepping down. What are they making room for? Right?
So that's right.
Like that. Mass arrest.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, there's a lot of prisons that are being, I mean, there's like a prison built every month. So there's plenty of empty ones out there that haven't even been filled with people yet. So I imagine they've got their little FEMA camps already set up. They could have been FEMA camps all along, just disguised as prisons being built for all we know here. I mean, they do that shit with Walmarts. They make our Walmarts.
Yes.
So
the Walmart.
There's a bunch of those. I've gone to some of those. I've got those on my YouTube channel. Those Walmarts with the fucking barbed wire. Sorry, my language. Tapered inward on the garden section. Well, that's not going to keep anybody out. That's going to keep people in.
Exactly.
You know, the garden sections are going to be rec center. It's going to be people's day room when they walk themselves into their own FEMA camp. There's no way, man. We've got all our supplies.
Really strange as well.
Huh?
Really strange. I go to my inbox today and there's this article about Spanish flu in 1918 where we lost a third of the population and it was through another strain of influenza. And basically it hit over. It could kill people in 12 hours. And not just that, they could be bleeding from their eyes and their ears and their nose. I mean, that doesn't actually sound like influenza to me. That sounds like they turned something on. But that was
Right.
1918, and there would have been a great big world recession, but nobody talks about it. And they said more soldiers died in this influenza than the wars.
Yeah, all the wars together. More people
Yeah.
died in that.
Wow.
Yeah.
More people died in the influenza, but it took 2 years for it to kill all those people. This shit's been raging for about 3 months,
Yes.
and it's really killed millions already. They're just not going to ever report that from China. They're not ever going to let that be released in China that millions of people died and they burned them all before the WHO, before the CDC, before anybody was even let into the country. To the
Wow.
whole area, they were burning bodies like crazy. You know,
Wow.
I've I've got all of those parts up on YouTube.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
just say my YouTube channel, so anybody watching this video in the future or anything like that, they can go and see the videos progress from when this all started to now and beyond, because
Yes.
I'm going to continue to put the videos up until this is all over.
Yes. So
But
I'm subscribed to your
I've also,
channel, so I should
yeah,
be
yeah.
able to find the videos. Yes.
Yeah, Confusion Records 2, all together, no spaces. My name is Organized Confusion. YouTube has really torn me up. They made me use a name instead of the actual label, which is Confusion Records 2, with the number 2, all together, no spaces. They don't even allow me to use that anymore as my name. They made me use a name. So I used the name Organized Confusion as the YouTube channel name because that's been my stage name when I used to do music
Oh,
whenever I was
great.
younger.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
anyway, I have all these videos up about this, and one of them talks about the flu, which actually was started in Utah. That's where the disease came from, was Utah.
mm-hmm.
Farmers farmer boys went to war and took it to Asia,
Oh,
to
wow.
Spain, I mean, sorry. And the first place it really broke out and they talked about it was in Spain. And that's why they called it the Spanish flu. And it adopted that name. It's actually a swine flu, and it came from
Yeah.
pigs. The farmer boys
Yeah.
caught it from the pigs and then took it to war with them, and they didn't know they had it at first. And by the time they realized what was going on, it had spread all through the barracks.
Oh,
And one of my
wow.
parts to the series of this whole coronavirus thing is features just a documentary about nothing but the Spanish flu from then. And if you watch that documentary, you can see the similarities from that to this. And so these
Yes.
pathogens do exist. It's just, um, I think that man is messing with them now. And I think that this one is mutating and becoming different strands. So
Mm-hmm.
there's another one called dengue fever.
Mm-hmm.
You can catch, there's 2 strands of that. When you catch the second strand of that, you get deathly sick. Whereas the first time it was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
So these things are taking place.
On my video today, the
Hmm.
person who wrote a book about the 1918 flu, he said that what it is the people started not to believe the government, and in the end, they didn't believe each other. That's what he
Right.
said on the video.
It's sad.
Yeah. So it
Well, this
was
is
It's
very
also,
kind of
well
what's
on its
happening now,
way.
anyway.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah, this is very well
Yeah,
on its way to
100
being
years
something
ago.
like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
sad that the people were snowed so much in the beginning by the media being
Oh,
ordered to do it. The media didn't
oh,
just come up on its
yes.
own and go, hey, let's let everybody think it's okay. I mean, they're given
Oh,
orders by
right.
their 6
Exactly.
masters, around the earth.
Yeah.
Sure.
And and it's sad that the people were dumbed down for so long now, for so many decades.
Oh,
They've been
yes.
dumbed down hardcore since television came out, to the point where they were all manipulated so badly over the last 2 months that they really believed that they lived in nations that were so powerful they couldn't fathom something like that happening to them. And places like Italy, where they're riddled and their healthcare system can't handle it, and they have a very, very powerful healthcare system, more powerful than the United States healthcare system. I don't know how the healthcare system is everywhere else, but here it's a pretty powerful healthcare system. But Italy's is supposedly better than our healthcare system, and they can't take it. They can't withstand the bounty of people that are coming in needing critical care. In America, we have about 170,000 ICU beds. 80% of those are taken up by normal stuff.
Right.
You know, car crashes, heart attacks, sick people.
Yes.
You know, and so that 20% isn't going to suffice the amount of people that are going to get sick over the next 2 months. This is not. And they waited too long to isolate. If they would have isolated back in December when they found out this happened, it should have been an immediate thing with the governments. I have such a piss poor taste in my mouth for the government right now. It's insane because they should have done this in December. But their money, their ears are so stuffed with money.
No. I gotta respectfully disagree, dude.
You know?
This has been in the plans for like 60 years. This isn't like This isn't like they're like fumbling or anything. Like,
well, no. I just
it's a casino.
I wish there would have been more people like us in those positions of some kind of power, because there are some good people in authority. You know what I mean? They're not all shitbags. Because I have family that are in these organizations that we consider, you know, I have family in those places, so I know that they're good people and that they mean well, or they wouldn't give me intel to give out to the people on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So I know there's good people in there. I just wish there was good people at higher levels that could have made better decisions to end something instead of looking at how they could make money on it later on. You know, we need so many people sick in order to be able to hold the trials. We went over this before, Karen, how they need so many people to do the trials, and they have to have so many critically ill people to even conduct the trials to have a vaccine. So they got to have tens of thousands of sick individuals, not just people with the virus.
But they're never,
you know what I'm saying?
They're never going to release a vaccine for the coronavirus, because if they do that, they have to release a vaccine for the flu. It's the same fucking strand.
Definitely not the same.
They're never going to release a cure for the flu. Right?
No, but this coronavirus, just like the last one, SARS, the last SARS, they came up with a vaccine for that, and they'll come up with one for this as well. They will, but it won't be anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Maybe next summer. That's my guess.
Well, I'm not taking the vaccine anyway.
There's a treatment drug they're giving out now. Some treatment drug. I can't remember what it's called. It's for malaria or something.
Yeah.
And it's showing promise in treatment for people. And they might be able to get that out to the public within maybe by Christmas or something, or the new year. But they won't come up with anything between now and 2021. They won't come up with anything to fight this between now and then, other than what they're doing, which is distancing so that it runs out of space.
But we will. We'll come up with the cure, right?
You'll come up with the cure.
We will come up with the cure.
Well, we're doing that, you know. The social isolation will do it if they actually hold through with it. If the governments pull through and actually give the people the money and give the businesses the money they need to stay in business once it's over, and give the companies that run like electric companies the money they need to be able to pay everyone's bills. If they actually do all of that, this will
I'll say
end
something. They've
by
always told
fall.
us that they don't have enough money. They've always told us they don't have enough money, and
That's
now they're
bullshit.
going to bail the businesses out.
Right.
Of
They've
course they
always said
are.
we haven't got enough money for this. We can't
They
fund
have
this.
to.
We can't have this. All the charities have had to plunk in. And now they'll be able to sort out all the businesses.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
they
it's
have to. They don't have a
the
choice
Federal
here. In
Reserve.
America, they don't have a choice. They have to do that.
Yeah. The Federal Reserve, they control everything anyway. So I imagine they'll do what they have to do to release enough money into the economy to keep things going. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
of course they will. Because
Yeah.
if all those small businesses go under and there's nothing but big corporate entities left, the market won't be able to stay going.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Everybody can see what it's done for the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
And that's because those small businesses have been closing little by little and not opening.
Yes.
And their business has been slowly declining on those small businesses. Walmart's still been doing okay. All those grocery store chains have still been doing okay because they've been remaining open and allowed to remain open
Right.
because of whatever reason. It doesn't matter at this point, but those small businesses show a reflection in the market that the small businesses hold that market up more than the big businesses do. Collectively, those small businesses hold up more than the big businesses do. So, they have to bail those little companies out. Like I have 2 small businesses, and I work for another small business on the side.
Oh,
So,
wow.
you know what I mean? I understand that if my businesses go out of business, and the business that I work for goes out of business, that's going to be a lot of money not attributing to the market anymore, and the unemployment rate will go up. Instead, everybody that stays on payroll will continue to receive money, right?
Yes.
And the government will continue to help that business until we come out of this, and then they can return to doing business again. As usual, as whatever world we live in at the time, whenever all that comes down.
Oh, that's right.
Because who knows what it's going to be like, you know what I mean? I'm interested. I'm intrigued to see what it's going to look like when all this dust settles. I really am. Because I'm expecting, once they get enough troops, that in America anyway, they're going to start locking the states down state by state.
No, I don't agree with that. Nope.
California's already been locked down. You realize that, right?
I agree with that. I think California, I think the major cities like Los Angeles, New York, but
they did the whole state.
Nah.
They did the whole state of California is on lockdown now.
I just don't think they're going to lock down all the fucking states.
I think they'll lock down every state that's had cases, which is every state in the United States now.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they will, but I don't know. I don't see it happening. You know why? This is kind of my thought process on it. They institute martial law, right?
Yeah.
State by state. Okay. Scenario.
Which they've done.
No, they haven't.
In Florida, they did. They declared a state of emergency in Florida. That's why we have curfews here now.
Yeah, but it's not statewide. It's countywide. It's mayor to mayor to mayor. It's governor
right now.
to governor.
I think this is a test.
Hear me out. Just let me get my thought. Just let me get that, and then I'll shut up, and you can whatever. Just let me get my thought out. My thinking process on this is that it might be like countywide and this and that, and like little shutdowns and like that, but it's not going to be countrywide. Reason is, you cannot enforce martial law in the United States. This is why. First of all, it's a corporation. It's not a country. So legally, this cannot happen. Secondly, most of America is armed.
Yeah.
Hear me out. Hear me out. The National Guard, if it's brought in on the streets of like basic American streets, they will not be issued actual ammunition. They will be issued rubber bullets. They will not be allowed to fire on the American public. That will not be allowed to happen on this administration or any administration's policy, first and foremost. So if the National Guard, the New World Order, the martial law is actually enforced on the entire country, no way will they be issued actual ammunition. But most of the American public is armed with real bullets. So they will not set themselves up to be ambushed by the American public. No way. The American public will fire at, you think tanks and like these
nobody's
National
gonna
Guard
fire at them. Nobody's going to fire at them because they're not going to be forcing them to stay. They're not going to be forcing them out of their home. I don't think any confrontation will come unless they try to take them out of their home.
I would love to finish my thought, and then I will shut up and listen to you. Just let me finish my thought. I will so shut up and listen to you. My thought process is, if they are going to, they will not. Like the narrative going on around the countries and everybody's saying they're issuing martial. No, martial law is a myth. It will not happen in the corporation of the United States. It will not happen. It will not happen. Martial law will not happen. It might happen in little pockets of the country, but it will not happen nationwide because the American public is armed with real guns and real bullets. The National Guard, martial law is not about cops. It's about the army. And if they're bringing the army in, and the army is, the National Guard is army. If the National Guard is lining the streets with their tanks and their RVs and blah, 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 they are not armed with actual bullets. They're armed with rubber bullets.
Correct.
Non-lethal weapons.
Correct.
The American population has the right to bear arms and real armo. They are not going to institute martial law because it will literally start a civil war between the American. Hang on, I promise I will shut the fuck up and let you speak. It will start a war between the American public and the National Guard, the Army. It will not happen on this administration's watch. No way is martial law happening nationwide. I'll shut up, speak. I'm done. I love you guys. Thank you. I love you. I'm just speaking.
We love you, Josh. We love you.
I love you.
Amy.
I'll shut up.
Amy, earlier on.
I love you.
No. It's gonna carry on from what you said. What were you telling me? What were you telling me earlier on about the army are gonna come around and get your guns?
Yes, I was listening to a video last night. The channel was called, I think it was called Plain Truth 4 or something like that. And the guy was talking with a young lady, and she is in the military. But not the Marines, maybe the Army, but anyway, she had a source in the Homeland Security office that this martial law was coming, and that the military would be coming to your homes to remove your guns. And she said if it was up to her, that she would never remove guns from her fellow citizens' homes, that she would die before she would do that, that if she doesn't think it will be up to her because of her branch of the service that she's in, but if it was and she had to go to people's houses and take their guns, she said she would just say, oh, they don't have any, like she would never ask people to turn in their weapons, but she did say she would die before she would take firearms from her fellow American.
Yeah, that will never
So
happen.
yeah, I hope not.
Not
Yeah,
without a struggle and a fight, like he says.
right,
There would definitely be a
right.
struggle on their hands.
I really hope Josh is correct. I really do. Josh, I
Well,
hope you're correct because that's I don't want to see the martial law and everything. So I pray you're
the
correct.
problem is states alone can declare martial law in their state, and
Right,
that allows the police force to still take effect in that state to do the work that the National Guard would do. You know what I mean? In that effect, the National Guard will be there as like a show of force, but
mm-hmm.
they don't have the actual force, like he says, to be able to do anything. But if it's on a state level, the sheriff still can. And there's
Okay,
also U.S. Marshals. There's all kinds of shit in the United States that they have that they could be on standby anywhere. That if things were to break out, they can use real ammunition to take people out that are showing their ass,
right,
so to speak. And all it
yeah,
takes is one neighborhood to see their neighbor get shot for showing his ass and killed in the front yard, and everybody else is going to comply in that neighborhood. And so they have to kill someone in every neighborhood. They're not going to care about that. They're not going to care about that.
yes,
And who the hell's going to be
right.
there to talk about it? Everybody's
I
going to be locked in
know,
their own homes, including media. So nobody's even going to be able to be out reporting about this shit, except for
right.
this few places that they allow to be reporting about this at, which will be at
That's right.
centers where it's
Can I
being
say
taken care of
something?
at. They're not
Can I
going to be
say
reporting
something?
where people are getting robbed and all
I
that shit.
Yeah.
can I
They're
just
not
say
going to report
something?
that.
The
Yes.
actors, the actors, which are the politicians, the politricks, the actors were lying to us last week and all those months before, and those same actors are giving us this information
Exactly.
What information?
Yeah. Why is
about the
why
coronavirus, the
why is this?
media.
No.
Why is,
Carry on, Josh.
I mean, I'm,
why,
of course, they're getting the, okay. It's hard to get any information from anybody, even sources in government and military and such, because they're given their information by higher sources, and they're given their information by higher sources, and so on.
Right.
So who the fuck? Sorry, but who really knows what the hell is going
actually,
on? You know what I'm saying?
I do know what's going on. I agree with your question, Karen. Yeah, why is this coronavirus being bypassed from really? I mean, like, how is this coronavirus affecting the elite more than the general public in general?
Yeah.
Like,
Now,
how are these elites who are above and beyond any kind of getting
no,
any
I'm
kind
so
of
glad you
virus,
said that.
all the ones
Please,
getting it, and all the
please,
sports figures,
please let me
and
cut in. Please,
yeah,
I really,
go.
I really am glad that you mentioned this and that I have withheld what I was thinking for a while now because I didn't want to say anything. Okay, but I spoke to Karen about this before. My niece, okay, is in the Marines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now she also broke to me that they were going to start these lockdowns. You know, a couple weeks ago, she broke to me that they were going to do these lockdowns, that they were going to start, and they did. You know, and now she just told me a couple of days ago that once they got a hold of this virus, that somebody started using it to attack the rich and the famous. And I swear to God, it's so funny how you mentioned that all these people that are normally not able to get touched by this or that, or they're always high and mighty or whatever, are actually the ones that
I
are
didn't
coming
say
down
that.
with it. You know, well, you know what I'm saying though. They're usually like, I don't know. The high class people supposedly were targeted with this, from what my sources in military are saying, which was outlandish to me. I haven't even been talking about that because it doesn't seem to fit to me. But I can't go along with just what I feel because sometimes shit isn't what we seem, what we
Right.
see it as, So I mean that could be, because a lot of bad shit is happening to rich people right now. a lot of bad shit is happening to rich people right now, including like the stimulus money. If you made over $70,000, you're not going to get shit in this stimulus package from the government. You're not going to get any money at all if you made over 70 grand a year.
Yes.
You won't get a stimulus money package at all. It doesn't matter if you were using all your money in the stock market and you just lost it all in the last 3 weeks. You're still not getting shit because you should have
Right.
lived under your means and had money put away and to where you could stock up on stuff. So those people aren't getting anything, So this does look kind of like an attack on maybe the middle class,
Yes.
and actors possibly, and who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just go based on what I'm told, but I do know that my federal affiliate has left the metropolitan area where we lived, and went out into the country to their cabin, and is now staying out in their cabin until all of this is over.
Yeah.
And the one in the health field, the health department field for the state of Florida, is now harboring herself in her house and working from home through the computer,
Right.
and is still doing all of her functions. But they have a readiness level system, like like a DEFCON system, but in the health department, world, and of also, public service, like people that work for the
Yeah.
water company and the, electric companies, stuff like that.
Yes.
And also branches of government. They have a readiness awareness level system. And she said
Yeah.
that theirs is still not at its top peak yet for them to be ready at any time to do this or that or any of that. So, I'm
Well.
still calm in my area on that aspect because it hasn't been raised to that level, So,
Right.
but they're still implementing, she's about 150 miles away from me. But in my area, they're implementing curfews now, which I think are just
Yes.
little
Same here.
tests to see how well people will listen and do what they're told,
Yeah.
and see if they have enough manpower to deal with the dissidents that don't. That's what I think this is for. I think this is a test.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
once they have all that logistics figured out as to how much manpower it will take to take care of the dissidents, then they'll usher in their new world order.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I know you want to take that.
I'd say it's a new human order, right? A new human order. It's not about a new world order.
Can I say something quickly?
Right.
When you said that, Josh, I put a video out a couple of weeks ago. NASA are into cognitive, whatever it is. It's all to do with psychology, and in it, they want to be flying the aeroplane, sorting out taxis. It's like NASA want to take over the Earth now.
Yeah.
Anything NASA is garbage, bullshit, fucktard, whatever. I'm sorry my language, but those people are retarded.
I think all of us in here can agree that if there's some sort of pandemic going on, why the fuck are we still funding NASA?
Right. Yeah. That's a great point.
Yes, agree. Yeah.
Right? Oh,
Yes.
that's the way she wanted.
That's where they should take all the funding from to take care of us.
There you go. That's right.
That big ass black hole budget of bullshit.
Yeah.
You haven't heard them say we're going to halt NASA right now. We're going to stop the funding for 2 weeks and take that money and help the people. You haven't heard that, have you?
That's right.
No. They'll figure out some way for us to pay it back later.
Yeah, exactly.
She's running out without the world inside my head.
Yeah, they should just come out and admit to the people that the Earth is flat and that NASA was lying all these years and say, we're sorry, here's all this money back.
Right.
Please forgive us.
That would be
Oh, shit.
I love you guys.
Oh, we love you.
Oh, we love you too.
It is going to be an interesting summer.
It is.
Time to be in, isn't it? It's a weird time to be in.
Oh, it is. I know.
I'm very glad and privileged. I feel very privileged to be here in this time on Earth with people.
We're being reset right now. We're being reset. That's what's happening.
I've heard that term a lot lately from a lot of different people. And it's
reset.
True.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very, very true. And they've done it many times before, where they want to do that. And what a lot of this is doing is getting rid of the old people, leaving the young people.
Yes.
And that way they can recondition those young people to believe whatever they want.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, because we already
this thing is starting to attack people in their 30s and up now.
Here, we're like the last people to play outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
The younger ones don't play outside. We play outside, and then that's going to be forgotten that we played outside. Now we're all stuck in our houses.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
just playing in the background, guys.
I love it.
Yeah, I shared a video a few weeks ago about from 3 years ago. It was a video clips from 3 years ago where they were warning people about the virus that these bats carried over there in Wuhan itself, where there's a tourist attraction where people can go through caves and see these bats sleeping during the day and stuff, and they're all getting pissed and shit on by these bats.
Right.
And any of those bats could contain that virus and be pissing the virus on them or shitting the virus on them.
Exactly.
And them just rub their eye and boom.
We saw that on one of my videos.
It could go zoonotic that way.
Yes.
So, but, I mean, so it's possible, for the transmission to happen. But this particular one, I was told, was from the lab in Wuhan. It's a level 4 biological warfare lab that's there. And it's 3 football fields away, 300 yards away from
I
from
heard
this
that
wet market.
too. Mm-hmm.
That's just too much of a coincidence for me.
I know.
And then the cremation, the crematoriums there that are going apeshit, admitting to burning over 200 bodies a day for 24 hours a day, burning bodies for weeks now, since December. Since the end of December, they've started burning over 200 bodies a day.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot higher of a death rate than, and that's just one funeral home that does cremations that was talking about this.
Can I say something else? I got a meme, and it China's back on track now because they contained their virus, and they're doing all right. So it's all the other countries now that are going to fall. Their economies are going to fall, while China will be okay.
China is not recovering. They are flying their asses off. They want the Olympics to continue, and in order for the Olympics to continue, they had to completely.
How could we survive?
The Olympics
when our society isn't real money, it's all figures on machines. Figures on machines.
You guys care if I chime in real quick?
Yes.
On the Olympics?
Go on then, Josh.
Yes. Yeah, the Olympic Committee stated that if it's not owned control by May, they're not having it. They made that very clear to China in the beginning, back in December. So they have been trying as hard as they can to make the numbers look as low as they can so that continues.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the Olympics and most sports events are all based around human trafficking. What do you guys think about that? Like, are these all these sports events and the Olympics and like even high school sports and college sports and pro sports events and the Olympics being shut down for some sort of like war against human trafficking?
Yeah, it's a possibility, I guess. Because people have been talking about that all this has something to do with the human trafficking and trying to put a stop to it and, arrest people that are involved with it. So
Yeah.
that
Well,
could
they're
be
never gonna they're
it.
never gonna achieve that in America because most of
Well,
the high up
Yeah.
politicians are
You know what,
child
dude?
rapists.
I don't know why you're like kind of like shooting it down just like immediately. I mean, I think it's a thing that we need to consider. Like I don't know. I mean, you shoot it down so quick, dude.
Shoot what down?
I'm just saying. I mean, you're just like quick to shoot it down, the human trafficking thing. There's something.
No, I'm saying they're not going. You'll never be able to shut down human trafficking because most of the politicians are fucking kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean,
So
there's been a lot of like CEOs.
They're gonna keep allowing it.
Listen, I'm not I'm not arguing with it, but definitely there's been like CEOs and like a bunch of elites stepping down. Seems like they're making deals to step down. I don't know. I'm just throwing out there. That's a narrative that's out there. So we're all trying to put the pieces,
I know. It's like it's like a lot
Yeah,
of
you know what? As well, I heard
pieces.
that's why they want to shut the aeroplanes down because it stops these people moving, so they can arrest them. But why would they do it all privately? They would do it publicly.
No,
Right.
because there's going to be so many people involved that
How can it be real
that
when it's
are
all
of
being done
importance.
privately?
Because there's so many people that are involved that are of importance, they don't want that coming to light in their investigations. So if they just take
Yeah.
all this shit down privately, the people that are important won't get into trouble, and the people that aren't important will, and then it'll stop anyway. But for a little while, because those important people will start another fucking ring right back up again. So it doesn't matter. It's just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah, right. Oh,
it starts
it's
seeping
just
again.
awful. Yes.
There's nothing they can
That,
do
that,
about that.
that-
As long as
No,
the people in charge
Actually, I gotta chime in. There
are
is
the ones wanting the kids and the people.
I gotta chime in, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta chime in. I think this actually is very important. What's going on? I think this the narrative that there's nothing we can do about it. No, I mean clearly there is a shift going on, right? I mean, like countries are being shut, like economics. Clearly, there's the narrative that there's nothing we can do anymore is out of it. Like I think we got to like eliminate that from the conversation. Clearly, something's going on. So, regardless of anybody's beliefs on like what's going on or like this or conspiracy, human trafficking at the end of the day is real.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
100%.
no matter what. No, one more step. One more thing. Coronavirus, real, hoax, or not?
Definitely not.
The human trafficking industry will be disrupted, regardless if the human, the coronavirus.
I don't think so.
Yes,
I don't think it'll be disrupted at all. I'm still getting my weed. I'm still getting my weed in from wherever the fuck it's coming from. Okay? So if they can get weed in, they can get people in. Okay? So that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? if I can get my drugs in,
dude,
from all these other countries, still,
dude,
those
realize,
perverts are going to get their little kids in.
Do you have a social
Mm.
security card?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Then you're being human. You're being human trafficked.
Oh, I understand what you're saying, like that. Yeah, like on a on a grand scale, yes.
Yeah. Well, this is a global scale thing going on. I'm not talking about it's.
But the channels in which they human traffic people in on the aspect that we actually talk about it on a level of human trafficking, like in secrecy, not me getting held here, so I, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, like or NBA players being trafficked here or trafficked there to do as they're bidded, or something like that. But on a level like on the secretive level where like kids from Nicaragua are being trafficked in because some politician fucking ordered him 3 months ago, that happened.
Dude, it's not even about like kids being ordered. It's about kids like American, European, like children. I'm not talking about like Nicaragua. I'm not talking about people in Africa. I'm talking about people in my own hometown.
I know. I understand the amount of kids that come up missing in America alone.
I live in,
and those are included too. But I'm saying the ones that are that's easy to traffic. It's easy to traffic someone within the United States.
Hey, whoa. I'm not saying anything's easy to traffic. You're saying that.
Okay, well that's simple. That's easy. It's easy to traffic things within the country. Getting things into the country is harder, and that's still happening. You know what I mean? So moving kids around or people around within the country, people doing nails, all that stuff, that's happening constantly. Women in massage parlors, prostitutes, all that stuff, they're moving around constantly still, and nobody's stopping that. They're being human trafficked constantly.
I am. I'm stopping that. I have nothing to do with that.
So when you see a hooker walking down the street, you pick her up and take her away somewhere so she can get help?
No, I have nothing to do with any human trafficking. I am anti-human trafficking. That's my point. What's going on is that human trafficking is being hurt. And that's a good thing.
I don't think it's being hurt that much.
Coronavirus hoax or not, if this is a real virus going on, that's going to hurt the human trafficking community, which is a good thing, right? Everybody?
Yes.
We should all agree on that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good thing, but it's not going to be that big of a disruption to them.
If you don't agree with
that, human trafficking since. So I was just saying they've been doing human trafficking since Napoleonic times. When we went over to America, they quarantined us and took our children, and that became the orphan trains in America. They've been doing it for a long time.
Yes, they have.
Yep.
It's just
I don't think it's going to make a big dent in something like that. Just like the drug trade. The drug trade is not going to take a hit from this or not. They don't come in through the same channels. So, and they don't travel along the same routes.
We don't know what's going to happen,
they're allowed.
Do we?
No.
We don't know. We don't know the outcome of right now. We don't even really know what's happening to us.
That's right.
Not reality. No, we sure don't. We know what, we believe we know.
Pretty frustrating. It's disgusting.
What we believe is leaked to us is intel.
Yeah.
And all we can do is pull that intel that we've gathered from around Earth in different places and try and put together whatever scenario we can put together as best we can.
That's right.
But the best thing that we can do is all stick together through it, no matter what, because we're all going through it, no matter what. Obviously, it's not just in China. This shit is everywhere, whatever it is, if it is anything, as we all say. But from what I'm told, it's real.
Yeah, I think Josh is a bit upset with it all, aren't you, Josh?
My niece is at a military base. She has literally seen them build containment centers put people in those containment centers. So whether or not, I mean, I don't know why they would have to fool military other than to fool us. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're putting on a show for military to get them to talk about it to their family like me, so that I talk to people like you know what I'm saying, and so on, and rumors get started. But, of truth, and that could be, but my niece isn't lying to me. She could be getting lied to herself, and she's not deliberately going, ha ha, I'm going to lie to my uncle, ha ha ha, ha ha, that's just silly, but she has literally watched these containment centers get built on the military base itself in Hawaii, and people be flown in and put in those quarantine centers for testing. What testing? Not for the virus, obviously, that had already taken place, but they're doing testing with different retroviral drugs that they hoped would show promise, which is this one that they're letting out now.
Metrovirus.
What's that?
Metro. What was that?
Retroviral drugs. Retro. That's like AIDS medicines and stuff, stuff that's shown to be able to help the immune system through something until the immune system kicks in and starts fighting the virus. I guess with this particular thing, people's lungs are filling up, but they don't know that until it's bad, I guess, or they don't want to do shit about it. In America, anyway, nobody really likes to do anything about anything. So if someone's having like a mild cough, for a couple of days, well, that doesn't seem so bad. But then 6 days later, when you can barely breathe, you go to the doctor. Okay, but by then you already need a ventilator and shit because your lungs are hard to breathe in, If anyone's ever had pneumonia, they know. Yeah, ventilator.
In a hospital?
Mm-hmm. Which there's not many in hospitals, honestly. There's not many ventilators available, to be honest. Not in compared to the ones that are already being used by patients already,
Which ones are being used?
My guess is about 80% of our ICU beds are taken up right now by everyday shit. Car accidents, stroke victims, whatever, cancer people. About 80% of our beds, of ICU beds, are taken up at any given time anyway. They don't expect pandemics to pop up every couple months, so they don't keep more than 20 or 30%
oh yeah, they do.
Standby stuff.
They plan pandemics to pop up every fucking couple months.
Not months. Not hospitals though. Not individual hospitals. They don't, and certainly not retirement homes and things like that. They don't.
So do you think the next bit of news is that we're going to see hospitals? We're going to see hospitals overflowing with people coming out the front door who are ill. Because we're not seeing that either, are we?
Dude, why are you wearing a T-shirt that says YouTube on it?
Because it's my YouTube channel.
What the? Seriously, man, you're all about your YouTube channel.
Well, on my segment here, I catch predators and expose them. So yeah, it's a pretty good thing.
Predators of what?
Sexual predators trying to lure kids into video chat rooms to beat off them.
Why are you disputing me about trying to talk about the government exposing the human trafficking thing? Why are you
No one fought you on that.
Yeah, you did.
Not at all.
Go back 10 minutes ago. You were like, why are you
We'll 100% be able to do that. We'll all be able to rewatch this and see that I never fought with you at all on that at all.
So who are you?
You had misunderstood me at one point, and I just was.
Who are you exposing as predators in the government?
Quite a few people.
Who?
John,
Name
John,
names.
John Kerry, George Bush Sr., Bill Clinton. You know, there's a lot of people. Quite a lot of people.
Awesome.
Quite a lot of people, and proof to show it. You know, the proof to show it. You know, that they cremate babies
What do you think? Like
yearly, live babies.
Tom Hanks and what do you all
I
think
don't,
of
I don't,
like
I
Tom
don't, I don't
Hanks?
put any stock in that stuff.
You don't put any stock into what?
Yeah.
Into the Tom Hanks,
Or
into
I
the
even
Tom
heard
Hanks
it.
thing.
You don't put any stock into the Tom Hanks thing?
Or
Yeah,
when
I don't. I'm not. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with all that, you know, because, okay, there's been a couple other people, you know, famous people too that have come out, but again, nobody, that we know anyway, you know, has come out having it, and not even any names named in the media of people, except a select few have come out in the media now,
So
that have had it, you
real
know,
sec-
and
1 second.
their names and so on, you know.
I hear you, but let's go back. There's nobody that you know personally that has had it either.
That's what I said. Yeah.
So the only people that we know who have had it are celebrities.
Except for the medical personnel that is a friend of mine. You know, I have a friend that has a medical personnel that is a friend of theirs. Now, I could go
You
meet
have a
this
friend
person.
of a friend.
Right, that's it. No, not a friend of a friend of a friend. That's not what I said. Now, you just added like 6 friend of a friends onto my one friend of a friend. Okay, don't make it itself. It's not. Okay, I have a friend who has a medical care physician, personal friend of his.
A friend of a friend. One, two.
Okay. Now this person is, you know, a part of the LBGT community, and so is the doctor that came down with this.
Jeez, come on, dude.
Now he caught it. Now he supposedly believes he caught it from continuing to go to the clubs and things like that and mingling with people, but the medical personnel that he knows is the one that has it and is now in quarantine.
You just connected 2 or 3 other connections. You just literally went.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just telling you.
A member of a LBG to a medical.
This is the person I'm telling you about. My friend. You're not listening. That's the thing. No. My friend.
I'm repeating what you're saying.
You're not repeating it, obviously.
Okay, say it again.
My friend is a member of the LGBT community.
1, 2, 3.
What do you mean? How is that 1, 2, 3? That's me and my friend that is a member of the LGBT community. How is that 3? That's me and someone else.
Me, someone else, right? And that community, which is 1, 2, 3.
It's not that community. I'm just telling you, he is a member of that community. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Cool, so his friend that is a medical practitioner, okay, in an ER came down with the virus and tested positive for it. The only way he was able to be tested positive for it was because he was in the medical field. That's the only reason he was even allowed to test positive for it, was because he's in the medical field and came down with symptoms of it. So they tested him. He tested positive. That man is in isolation right now. He is in quarantine. So I'm getting this information from my friend who has spoke with his friend since being in quarantine.
6. Cool, dude. 6.
That makes no sense. You don't know how to count, obviously.
It's okay, man. It's okay. It's all good, man.
Me, my friend, and his friend doctor. That's it. That's 3 people.
6.
How is that 5? How do you not know how to count?
Me, my friend, my doctor, my friend. You're like me, my friend, my doctor.
Boys!
No, it's all good, dude.
I don't understand what's happening.
It's all good, dude. It's cool, man.
Okay.
Josh!
Let's
So,
jam out.
listen, boys, we've been going for an hour and a half now. Do you want like Josh and Amy and Confused have a few minutes each talking about what we talked about today? You know,
You know
your
what?
final out thought.
I just want to say, guys, man, like it's cool, man. It's cool to debate. Like I don't mind arguing, and like, dude, man, like it's all good, man. Like
It doesn't matter what's real and what's fake about any of this. What's real is that they're going to do something with all of us. It doesn't matter where we're living. They're doing it in other places
Hang on,
already,
Josh,
and
you're
they're going
muted.
to do it where we are too. And
Yeah.
if we're not prepared somehow, it's not going to matter if it's real or fake.
yeah,
So,
dude, I'm just like, I love to like rant and like, I love to debate and like, I love you, man. Like, it's all good. Like, it's totally good, man. It's good to like have like fun discussions and stuff. Dude, I'm totally cool with you, man. You know,
yeah, likewise.
yeah, totally, man. Like, I like to like rant and like, yeah, let's like spar a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. Because that's how we get to the truth, right?
Right.
It's like how we get there, man. Dude, we all have our own opinions, and it's okay. It's okay, man. It's all good, man.
Yeah.
Totally, man.
We've never been in this. We've never been in this position before. We're probably all a bit hyped, aren't we? Because
Oh,
none of us know
yes.
what's going on, and we're in the dark, and we know something's going on, and there's nothing we can do about it. We've got to ride this horrible wave, not knowing where we're going.
Exactly. Yeah.
We do.
Great care.
Totally, man.
This is very useful. Yes.
It's going to happen
The last,
regardless of what we do.
Josh
So,
is saying they can't do it, right? They can't do
oh, they
martial law.
100%
But it
can.
looks like that's what's
They
happening.
100%
They've
can.
shut everything down.
I love all you guys, man.
Yes.
I
Listen,
love all you guys.
on the legal side of it, they can. If they want to, they literally, really can lock us down. And it is by law, they're allowed to do that. And they will implement a constitutionalist time period.
I love you guys, man.
And they'll implement it. You'll see.
I really love like
I love you too.
I love
Yeah, and also
I love talking to you guys and like sparring with guys. I love it, man. I appreciate all of
That's
you.
great.
I
Just to
appreciate
say,
everybody's
Josh,
opinion.
Josh, you've never met Organised Confusion before, have you? This is the first time you've talked to each other, so you don't really know each
Yeah.
other, do you either?
It's great. You know what, man?
Oh,
Fuck yeah,
wow.
dude. Fuck yeah, dude. You know what? It's okay. We can agree to disagree. We can like argue. It's okay because at the end of the day, we're both out for the truth, right?
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
both out to like find the truth and like whatever, man. You know, dude, man. Like we're all just like humans all on here and like whatever, man. You know, it's all good, man. You know, like, dude,
I'm
it's all good. Like, you know, it's cool to like for us to like right? Yeah, he's laughing at me.
I hope I hope you got some Chef Boyardee on hand and some peas, okay? Because it's going to be a really, really long spring and summer.
Yeah, it is. I'm a picture
Okay.
out of
I got little Debbie
frame.
snacks,
Amy.
root beer, and Capri Suns,
Yes,
and hot
here.
chocolate, and soup.
Amy,
Water.
your thoughts? Well, when
Sure.
Josh has finished playing.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
He's on one tonight.
Wow.
Does it charge at all? It does charge while I'm on. That's nice.
Amy, what's your thoughts then?
Well, just been craziest time that I've ever seen in my whole life, and it's very alarming, and as and we're and whether it's true or it's not true, but there's going to be some real changes, and life is not going to be the same anymore after this, and so we just have to be able to run this and take a day at a time and be alert and but the most important thing is that we stick together, that we communicate with each other and love each other and respect each other and each other. To all of us, we're all people, and whatever is going on is so above and out of our control. So we is there for them and do everything we can to help them through this, and that's what I just stick together and be respectful, and like you all were saying, respect each other's, and if we have to, we want to do that, we want to do that, but be able to just sure we're preparing ourselves and helping neighbors and the people, and not and just above all try not to panic, because it's easy to do. People just
Don't panic.
Natural tendency.
Don't panic, anybody. No panicking. There's nowhere to go.
Right. I mean, just say.
It's been. Oh, carry on, Amy.
This is what stay calm and but be and this is just trying not to pick. This opportunity.
Majority of people
are
going to be okay.
Bond together. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope everybody can hear that. My phone's
together.
Muffling.
Oh.
Right, it's muffling on my phone, but it's probably recorded on the computer. It's been a real pleasure, guys. It's been a wild hang. Yeah, guys. But me and Amy are quite gentle, aren't we, Amy? Listening to the boys, they're a bit rougher.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was
I love you, man. Love you guys.
Anyway, we're going to say goodnight now. So I was going to think about going to bed, and then I saw you messaged me, Organised Confusion, and then and then Josh messaged me, and I got him. So I'm really glad that we had a hangout. It's been awesome, heated, and I'm very sorry to everybody that we're in this mess. I just can't wait till it's over.
Oh, yes.
That's good. That's good. Heated is good.
So,
that's good.
Yes. You're getting somewhere.
Josh?
I appreciate all of you. I appreciate everybody's opinion.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm open to being wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope I am.
I appreciate everybody's opinion, and thank you for thank you everybody.
Likewise.
Right? I appreciate.
Don't forget to put this on your channels.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, Amy, mwah. Josh, mwah. Organised Confusion, mwah. Chat room, mwah.
Love you.
Good night good morning, good afternoon, good evening from us. We love you, Josh. And Amy.
I'm a picture without a frame. Will you frame it, please? 'Cause I really need these boundaries around my mind to keep me away from these I go where I can't understand. I'm a painting, any color. Will you color me, please? I really need these memories in my head, so I won't forget where I'm going, where I am once I get there anymore. I am alone inside this empty space where everything has some place except me. I am alone inside this empty space where everything has some place except me, except me. I'm a picture, not a friend. Love you guys.
Yay! I think Josh has been dying to do that all evening, actually.
I love it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Love you guys.
Organised confusion. Have you going to sing us anything? Organised
not.
confusion.
I am not.
Here, I'll give you some. Here you go. Here. What's that one song? What's that one? Sweet Home Alabama, right?
Anyway, I haven't pressed the stop of the record button. So, Josh, have you finished playing us some music, or can I press the button?
I'll play another song.
Go on then.
This feeling I get, I can't feel anything, and it makes me sick. 'Cause I don't know what to think. I'm happy or sad, I'm mad or glad. I even try to understand what's going on with me. What's going on? That's okay. It comes and goes. I'm getting used to feeling nothing. So run and never find me. Suddenly then try. Beyond me, asking me brainless questions like you doing, how you feel about this one. You stand beyond me, writing fiction on my mind. Like, what are you doing? How do you feel about this one? a dyslexic little boy. You can't even spell his name, but he doesn't complain. He doesn't even complain. He tries to outspin from the ones who play this game. They don't listen to what he's saying. He tires too soon to scream into his pillow. If you listen hard enough, you can hear him scream. That one day the universe is going to blink and I'll press pause. When I press play, yeah, I'm just messing around, guys. You know.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Josh.
I love
Josh,
you guys.
that was a nice
I love you guys.
way to end the hangout. Thank you so much, Josh. Again, big hugs and kisses to you all.
Yes,
We will be back soon. Anyway, thank you very much for listening.
God bless you all.
Bye, everybody.
Love you.
Bye. Bye.
Love you.
This is where we spend 5 hours. Oh, he's gone.
Yep, he's gone.
Anyway, I'm going to stop the record button now. Thanks very much.
He didn't understand.